Hi, my name is Erica Liu. I'm the head of marketing for Red Day Technology, which is the architect behind the project Blockchain-Based Service Network, BSN. So we're thrilled to be part of the Fishackathon for 2022 with Algorand Foundation today and to provide our technologies to the Fishackathon and allowing all the developers around the world to utilize blockchain technologies. And we've also prepared cash rewards to the best solutions on BSN and Algorand. I'm with my colleague today, Chris Wong, who is the Senior Solution Architect for Red Day Technology.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Wong. I'm from Red Day Technology. I'm the Senior Solution Architect. Today, I will go through a few steps for you so that you can know how to enable the blockchain element in your proposal and your submissions applications by using the resources provided by BSN.
Thank you, Chris. And also, Hai Chao, who is the head of the ecosystem advocacy for Algorand Foundation in APAC.
Hi, thanks for joining the hackathon. This is Hai Chao. I'm the head of ecosystem advocacy, especially in Asia. I'm your go-to person if you have any technical questions. So feel free to find me.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Hai Chao. And without further ado, let's get started with a very short introduction about BSN and Red Day Technology. So Red Day Technology is one of the 4 founding members of the Blockchain-Based Service Network, BSN. We were founded in September 2014 and is headquartered in Hong Kong. Prior to working on the BSN project, we've been working on smart city technologies for the Chinese cities for many years. So we're the architect behind BSN and is responsible for BSN's R&D and daily operations. In addition to that, we're also the 4 initiators of the BSN Development Association and BSN Foundation, which is responsible for formulating and executing BSN's international strategy. So the 2 core issues holding back the mass adoption of the blockchain technology today, we believe, is the cost and interoperability. It is still very expensive for SMEs or individual developers to utilize this technology. It is not accessible and affordable to many of them. The other issue is interoperability. There are so many different technologies out here today, but enabling them to communicate with each other seamlessly is still a very big challenge. So BSN is a cross-cloud, cross-portal, and cross-framework global digital infrastructure network for all kinds of blockchain applications. And our mission is to make the technologies low cost and accessible to all the developers around the world. So BSN, we're really a big integrator. So we've integrated cloud service providers such as AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Asia, China Mobile, and Baidu AI Cloud. And we've also integrated different blockchain technologies onto our network, including permission blockchain technologies such as Hyperledger Fabric, Besu, Consensus Quorum, R3 Corda, and also permissionless blockchains, including Ethereum, EOS, Algorand, Polkadot, Solana, etc. Last but not least, Holy Enterprises and Arita for interchain services. So here you can see a diagram of the BSN architecture. At the very bottom layer, you can see the cloud services and cloud providers that I've mentioned in the previous slides. And on the top of that, we have the virtual data center. Today, we have a network about 140 of data centers around the world. And within each data center, we have a complete set of technologies, including permission frameworks, open permission frameworks, and permissionless frameworks. We've also added tools for developers, including BSN IDE services, testnet services, and other technologies as well. And at the very top, you can see the BSN portals. So BSN portals are operated by BSN partners around the world to offer blockchain as a services to global developers. It is where the developers can go and purchase BSN resources. And we're very excited to see there are more and more applications running on the BSN across a range of industries, including copyright protections, procurement, e-government, asset digitalization, supply chain finance, Internet of Things, digital evidence, agricultural product traceabilities, healthcare, just to name a few. And we believe with the BSN infrastructure, we're able to unleash the power of blockchain in the coming years. If you're interested in learning more about red data technology or BSN, please feel free to contact us. Thank you. Okay, and I think that's my introduction today. And now I would like to hand it over to Chris to give us a 101 guide as for how to deploy your applications on BSN.
Actually, in the page mentioned by Erica, you can find the sections. In this section, you can see there's a section mentioning about, for this fish hackathon, our BSN and Algorand are sponsoring the hackathon and by supporting some resources. In here, by clicking the Learn More button, you can see the event page. This event page including some use case and some channel for you. If you have any inquiries, you can contact us via the Telegram or via email. In this page, also, there are some use cases for related to the agriculture, traceability, they are visualized by other parties, for example, the IPM. And you can have some insights or enlightenment from them by reading these use cases. And scroll down a little bit, you can see an introduction to our BSN, the blockchain-based service network. So by using BSN, you can deploy your smart contract and connect to various of blockchain frameworks. And Algorand is one of our partners to sponsor this fish hackathon. And Algorand is one of the public popular framework in blockchain. So I think Haicha will introduce more detail later. And here, the pictures node will be our portal operator. You will use the BSN resources via the pictures node portal. And here is the price detail. And after reading all this, you can submit your applications by clicking the button. You will be redirected to Google form. And you can submit your information here. Then we will reply to you email. And in the email, you can find some information. Here's a demo email. You can see you will have a login URL, username and password. You can click the login URL and try to use the information, the credential provided in the email to log in the digital portal so that you can start to deploy the blockchain applications. After logging in, you can see the dashboard here. In fact, you have two options. One option is to create a connector to connect one of the public chain, for example, Algorand, Ethereum. And here I will try to create one project by using the Hong Kong portal. And in here, you can find the create project button. And you can give the project a name. For example, fish hackathon project. And you can choose the framework and the network here. You can find Ethereum, ISO, TESO, and a lot more. For example, this time, I would like to create an Algorand testnet. Then I input the daily request so that I can limit my throughput to the API gateway. And after a few simple clicks, you are now able to access the Algorand testnet by using the access address. This is only the RPC API URL. You need to develop your own smart contract. And after implement your own smart contract, this is the address you need to use for deploying them. For the part related to the smart contract development and the deployment, I think Haicha will demo later. This is for how to use the public chain via the BSN resources. But what if you want to use some permissioned blockchain framework? For example, the Hyperledger Fabric. Then you can check it out in here, the permissioned service, the public service. And here, there's also a create button. By clicking the create button, you can see there are some forms with steps, and you can choose the framework you would like to create. For example, I'm now going to create a Hyperledger Fabric in version 1.4.3. And I think this is smart manufacturing related service. Then I can input my project name here. Fishackathon. And here, there's some basic information related to the service. So it is for us to get more easier to understand the service detail. What if it's another issue or some questions? We can deal via the contact information here. And you can upload the service logo and input some description and introductions. Also, you can upload some documentation here to describe your service. After that, you can start deploy a smart contract. In here, there's two ways to deploy the smart contract. One is to upload your own one. You can upload your own smart contract by choosing the language. For example, in Hyperledger Fabric, Fabric supports Java, Golang, and Node.js smart contract. Also, you can use the preset chain code package, which is already implemented by the portal. Then you can use the CRUD functions on the Hyperledger Fabric. And then you just need to choose some nodes for establishing the Hyperledger Fabric channel. And here, you don't need to worry about the price because it's all sponsored by BSN. After confirming button, you will redirect to a payment page, but you don't need to actually pay the fee, and you just need to go back. And then you just need to let us know what service you have been created. And the service status in here still draft. After we helped you to deploy the service here, the status will be published. And after that, we can start interacting the smart contract you deployed to the Hyperledger Fabric network. How to integrate with the service deployed on the digital portal? You can go to the documentation section, and you can see a lot of description and guides for permissionless service and the permissionless service that I demonstrated just now. And for the interaction between the smart contract and the application I like to create, you can check in this section, the Gateway SDK and code sample. Just now I have created a Hyperledger Fabric, so you can choose the code samples here, Fabric, and you will be redirected to a GitHub. And here, there are more information and reference. For example, you can see how to interact your application with the smart contract deployed just now. That's the basic workflow for enable blockchain adoption on BSN, powered by Digital Portal in both public blockchain, for example, Ethereum, Algorand, and the permissioned blockchain, for example, Hyperledger Fabric. If you have any information would like to know more, or there's any issue you would like to ask, you can go back to this page. You can contact us via email, or you can join our Telegram group so that we can support you instantly. So that's my demonstration here. So I think next part will be Hai Chao to introduce the Algorand development and the smart contract deployment. Go back to you, Hai Chao.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Let me share my screen. And welcome to join the hackathon. And this is Haichao. I'm going to walk you through how to actually develop something on Algorand once you have that API access that Chris just introduced. But first of all, I think you must be wondering, why would you choose Algorand as your platform to develop your program, to develop your project on? And there are two reasons. The first reason is that Algorand was designed and built by a bunch of very smart people, including a Turing Award winner, Professor Silvio Micali, and also a lot of engineers and researchers from both MIT and Harvard. So with this team background supporting my point, I think I can skip all of the mathematical proofs and just tell you that in conclusion, Algorand, it is the best choice you can have if you want to build a blockchain product. And to compare with other solutions, Algorand has absolutely no chance of forking. It is a deterministic blockchain, and also it's very fast. It has a block time of around 5 seconds, and you can send at least 100 transactions in a single block. And also we have limitless of nodes, and also it's very permissionless. We honor the spirit of decentralization. And even though something bad happens to a network, it will recover from the best data back to the normal state very quickly. So please choose Algorand as your development forum. And if you are actually interested, then I'd like to introduce some of the terms and concepts before you jump into the development. The account address on Algorand is a little bit different. We had different types of accounts on the Algorand. We have normal account, which is just for storing tokens, like any other accounts you find on any other blockchains. But we also have multi-sig account, which allows you to control an account with multi-signatures. And also we have logic account, but you can also call it smart contract, which means that you can write the predefined logics to define the operations and the permissions of a account. And also transactions on Algorand is basically used for doing everything you want with the blockchain, to interact with the blockchain. You can send data, you can retrieve data from the blockchain using transactions. And the nodes on Algorand in the Algorand network can be configured into different forms, depending on how much data you want to access from the blockchain network. In addition to that, we also have 3 unique features designed on Algorand for smoothing the learning curve on developing a blockchain application on Algorand. And that includes the Algorand standard assets. It is a built-in function on the Algorand blockchain that supports you to issue any third-party tokens with your customized configurations. And also we have atomic transfers, which allow you to combine multiple transactions in a single transaction group and send that to the blockchain to get it confirmed with atomicity, which means that even one transaction of the transaction group fails, then all the transactions in the group will fail. And also we have Algorand smart contract. This allows you to control funds in a more intelligent way. The first step to do the development was to set up your development environment, and that includes first of all choosing your preferred programming language. And here in the demo here, I'm going to use JavaScript, and also the API services you just get from the BSN. And also you need to have the Algorand official Java SDK. But if you choose another programming language, we also have SDK in Python, in Java, and also in Golang. And then you need to set up an instance of from the SDK to get your connect point with the Algorand blockchain. The demo here I'm going to show you includes 2 parts. One is how to set up a wallet with your code, and also how to send a transaction, as well as how to create an asset with the Algorand blockchain. So I'm going to walk you through this one here, but this is actually very simple. I'm going to show this in the demo later. But basically, what you want to do is just to use all these functions provided by the SDK, and to you can find the details in the documentation. Mostly there are although sometimes we change the specifications on blockchain, but this one you can always trust the SDK to give you the right result. Once you have the wallet, you need some test tokens in your account to send some transactions, and these you can get that from this testnet faucet here. Yes, and the way you send a transaction is to basically have 5 steps. The first step is to construct the transaction. You need to basically configure all the parameters here, and I put all the explanations in the codes. And also, once you have the transaction parameters, you can just sign the transaction with the transaction body you just composed and also the private key of the sender. And then the way you sign it is just to call a function from the Algorand SDK. It's called sign transaction, very intuitive. And the next step is to submit the transaction to a network to get it confirmed. And once you submit that, you can start to query the blockchain to know the status of the transaction to see if it has been confirmed. This usually takes around 5 seconds, and you can use the function here to query that status. And once that is done, you can still use the same function to retrieve the confirmed transaction information and to know which round has that transaction has been confirmed, and also what is the transaction ID. So you can see this is a very basic 5 steps that you can do by sending a transaction, and this is also the exact step for basically any operations you want to do on Algorand, such as if you want to create an asset, you don't have to write a smart contract, you don't have to know how to program a very complex contract code. You just have to compose a transaction using the function provided by the Algorand SDK, and it's called make asset creation transaction. Then you just fill in all the transaction parameters here, and then same routine, just sign the transaction and submit the transaction to the network, wait for it to be confirmed, then you can retrieve the asset ID from the transaction. And lastly, you can also transfer the asset with the same function here. In some blockchains, maybe this is different because if the asset is created within a smart contract, then you have to change the state of the smart contract to basically transfer a token. But on Algorand, it's much more intuitive and simple. You do the same thing with the two examples above. You just have to compose the asset transaction directly and also fill in all the parameters, and then do the same thing here. Sign the transaction, send the transaction to a network, and wait for it to be confirmed. And I put some links here as a reference. All the features I just introduced, including ASA, atomic swap, and also more advanced features such as state-firm stateless smart contract. You can find all the details here in the documentation website here, developer.algorand.org. And also we have some toolings ready for you to use, including Algorand Wallet and Algorand Sender, which is a browser-based web wallet. And also we provide SDK in multiple languages, and Algorand Explorer is for you to monitor all the on-chain data. So once you send a transaction, you will know where to say it, and also the Node API services, including the one provided by BSN here. And I'd like to show you a demo here on how to make this in action. This demo is included in the document that we put in the website, so you can check it out. And I commented a lot of the functions here, and I only show you how to send a payment transaction. So basically what you need to do, looking at the code, you can see here, we only need to require one thing here, which is Algorand SDK. And all the other functions can be covered in this SDK. And apart from that, you just need to obtain the Algorand network endpoints from BSN portal. And I put them in the environment variables here for security reason. And once you have that, you can write all these functions for these are actually also very simple. As you can see here, this one is the function for sending payment transactions. And what you need to do is to get first query the blockchain for transaction parameters, and then use this function to compose the transaction. Then, as I mentioned, you just sign it and submit it to the blockchain and to wait for it to be confirmed. And if you want to see it in action, I create 2 test accounts here, and these are already funded with the faucet I said before. And then if you run the code here with Node.js, this app.js file, and then you just wait for 5 seconds, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and yes, it is confirmed. So this is the speed of Algorand. And for more information, please check the documentation on our website, and also the documents we shared in the website. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your detailed walkthrough, and that's it for all for today. And if you have any questions about the Fishackathon, about Reddit, BSN, or Algorand Foundation, please leave your comment below or contact us in the description box. And we look forward to your participation in the Fishackathon. Thank you.